How's it going, everybody? This is Novakast back with another video for you guys. And with this video, doing another review. And I would also, before we begin, ask that if there's anything you guys think I need to add or anything I can do differently for future videos, please let me know. Love to hear what you guys have to say for the feedback. So, Puss in Boots, The Last Wish. Now, when I first saw this, as well as around the same time, advertisements for Avatar, I was not particularly motivated on watching either one of them. Now, first off, out of all the characters from Shrek, Puss was probably the one that, and he got his own. He got his own spin-off too, which is odd. But he was the one that kind of felt the weakest at times when it came down to the movies. But then they gave him his own spin-off, and honestly, with the style of character that he is, it worked. It really did. And he also got another spin-off too. But regardless of that one, between this one and Avatar, I couldn't decide whether or not which one to watch. So, not wanting to deal with the constant, I guess, back patting for James Cameron, and just, I want to say, the circle jerk of applauding him for his movie that we've been waiting for almost what, 13, 15 years, 11 years, I can't remember, for a very long time. You guys get my point. With him every single month from the first Avatar, this one, saying, "Oh, it's coming out, it's coming out, it's coming out," I decided to watch Puss in Boots. And I'll be honest, Puss in Boots did not disappoint. This is a film, and honestly, there are points where it got emotional. Some of the comedy is, I mean, it's still kind of satirical to some extent. There are jokes that I think kids are not going to understand, and there are some that adults are gonna, especially in some context of like some of the stuff that's talked about. Some adults are going to hold their hands in front of their mouth with some of the content. There's one particular scene in this movie that is somewhat hilarious when it comes down to the character. But I guess for a brief synopsis or story of the movie, Puss in Boots, has been a legendary hero. He has gone through every single one of his lives. He comes across a bounty hunter who, by the way, spoilers, who is more than just a bounty hunter. I'm going to give spoilers, not so spoilers. But anyways, and with this new threat, out of fear, Puss in Boots goes in hiding. And goes into a shelter for cats, run by a cat lady. Crazy cat lady. But Goldilocks and the Three Bears show up, trying to hire Puss in Boots, realize he's dead, or believes he's dead, and goes off to hunt down a map that has or shows the location of a wishing star that grants one wish. Realizing that Puss has an opportunity to get his 9 lives back, he goes on the hunt for this map. Meets a variety of different characters. My personal favorite out of all the characters being Perito. Being a little, like, I'm assuming a Chihuahua, but regardless, he is an adorable character, very optimistic, somebody who will always find the good in something, and the added benefit of this particular character, he wants to be a therapy dog. So I thought that was a little bit hilarious, but it kind of adds to his character, and I guess assists in the story a little bit when certain events occur in the movie. They team up with a character that showed up in one of the previous films, Kitty Softpaws, to hunt down the wishing star, while also having to contend with or kind of fight Goldilocks and the Three Bears, and Jack Horner. For those who don't know, the Jack Horner is from the nursery rhyme with the kid that sticks his thumb in the pie, and he is I will admit, a grotesque character. Actually, if anything, he's like the disgusting businessman / crime boss. Almost to the extent of, I know some people are gonna hate me for making this comparison, almost to the extent of like somebody like Kingpin from Marvel. Though this guy is very childish, whereas Kingpin is kind of more dignified. Now, going further, the style itself that this movie is animated is, I want to say, similar to Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, where like in action scenes sometimes it feels like it speeds up or slows down. If you pay close attention to certain character models in the animation, certain characters are kind of slowed down to lesser frames as they're moving around. You have moments of like, again, like slow downs, speed ups, and above all, like I guess if anything, the character, like the redesigns for Puss, for Kitty Softpaws, are just it looks good, and it gets me thinking of whether or not they're going to do this for Shrek 2. Because honestly, this version of Puss in Boots looks really, really good. And I wouldn't be surprised if they did the same thing, like for all the characters, especially since it kind of hints at a possible Shrek 5, or going back to the realm of Far, Far Away. Just imagining like all the other characters that we've seen in the past looking, or at least being represented in this new style. So, music, honestly, I love it. With this being a sort of, I want to say, to an extent, has sort of Spanish inspiration. There are moments where you have the characters that speak in Spanish, which I thought was pretty cool. There are times where I'm like, what are they saying? And I have to look it up, which adds to, like, to an extent, kind of added to my enjoyment, because I would like to know what some of these things say, or like what some of these characters say. Like there's and I'm gonna screw up the pronunciation, where the wolf, the bounty hunter, is in the first encounter chases down Puss in Boots, and he says something along the lines of "Gore gore gatito," and I butchered it. I apologize. I'm sure somebody will correct me, but some of the people who watch the movie will know what that is. And I saw that on the movie. I'm like, what does that say? So I'm using subtitles too. So I'm basically typing in, like, in the translator, okay, what does this mean? Oh, it means run kitty. And it makes sense too, like, especially with one of the words, gatito, pops up later on with for the name of a particular weapon called the gatito blade, which is referenced twice for halfway through the film, and then for the final conflict with the bounty hunter. All in all, this movie, again, style, story, music, characters, there are moments where this movie will kind of make you cry. And some of the villains that pop up, like Goldilocks, may not overall be as bad as they are as they're first portrayed. In fact, Goldilocks' reason for the hunting down the wishing star is somewhat of an interesting one, but also kind of as she's going through her journey, kind of is brought to her attention that, you know, what you're looking for may exactly be like right in front of you. So story, characters, music, animation, this movie is gorgeous. So if I would have to give this a rating, you know, honestly, I'm gonna oversell it. I enjoyed it. I thought this was a great movie. I absolutely love this movie. Some of the comedy is great, characters are great, story great, animation great. Above all, it is very stylized and takes inspiration from movies like, you know, Into the Spider-Verse. So, with that being said, final verdict is 10 out of 10. Again, I know I'm overselling it, but honestly, my personal opinion, and this is all that, and that's all this is personal opinion. I thought it deserved it. I think it deserves a 10 out of 10. I enjoyed this film. It was great to me, and hopefully a lot of people that watch this video that want to check this movie out, check it out too. So with that, again, 10 out of 10. Thank you guys so much for watching. Truly appreciate it. If you guys can, please leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. If you guys want to follow us on social media, links are in the description down below, as well as check out our daily content and the weekly podcast. With that being said, this is Novakast signing off. Have a good one. Take care, and I'll see you guys next video.